then bring my mother home.
What year did you change from being a Democrat to Republican?
1965. I had been interested in being district attorney of Philadelphia, and Philadelphia was a very corrupt city. And the chairman of the Democratic Party said, "We don't want a young Tom Dewey in the DA's office." I had just finished investigating magistrates, the corrupt minor judiciary of Philadelphia, where they extracted bribes from people to get discharged, and they went after gays. They had a theater called the Family Theater on East Market Street where gays assembled, and the vice squad would go and arrest them and take them before magistrates who would extort large sums of money to discharge them, or then, if they didn't pay off, to hold them. And I had convicted quite a number of magistrates in this probe, and the head of the Democratic Party didn't like that because these were a lot of very powerful political leaders. And the Republican leader, Bill Meehan, came to me and asked me if I'd consider running for district attorney on the Republican ticket. And the nomination wasn't worth a whole lot because the year before, Lyndon Johnson had beaten Goldwater in Philadelphia by 640,000 to 200,000, more 440,000 majority. But I thought it over, and I considered DA really a non-political office, and I agreed to run on the condition that I would not change my registration and that I have a free hand in selecting assistants. And I was elected DA on the Republican ticket, sort of a fusion ticket. And I tell the story in my book about Joe Clark. I'd gone to see Senator Clark.
Democrat.
A Democrat, when I wanted to run in the primary. Senator Clark had written a letter. This goes back to before I took the nomination on the Republican ticket. And he wrote a letter suggesting me and others for DA. And, of course, that was the kiss of death. So I went to Senator Clark, and I said, "Senator Clark, I'd be willing to take on a tough primary fight if you'll help me raise money." So I can't do that. And I said, "Well, maybe I'd do it if you'd come out for me and help me." Well, I couldn't do that. They said, "But I'll vote for you." No big deal. Here's a vote already. So the Saturday before the election, he called me up, and I was campaigning around town, and I returned the call. And he said, "Arlen, I think you're going to win this election." He said, "Don't do anything about registration until you talk to me." So I went to see him after the election. He said, "You ought to stay a Democrat." And I said, "Senator Clark, up until now, I hadn't decided." But Bill Meehan and the Republicans, no strings attached, very comfortable, independent DA's office. And I decided to try to bring back a second major party in Philadelphia, which I think is very badly needed. So I changed my registration. I haven't succeeded, Brian, but I'm still working on it.
You, in your book, talk about going